Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. In this video, I will be showing how to make a simple applique design in Embrilliance software. Come on y'all, let's get started. For this project, I will be using Cutaway Stabilizer, my 5x12 repositional hoop. I will be using a sweatshirt, thread, scissors, and glitter HTV. And of course, I'll be using my Embrilliance Essential software and my Brother SE1900 embroidery machine. I will leave a list of all of the items in the description of this video. Here in the Embrilliance software, the first thing I'm going to do is select the repositional hoop for my Brother's SE1900. To select the repositional hoop, I am going to go to the top menu and select Edit, and then select Preferences. When the Program Preferences box opens, I'm going to make sure that my format is PES, which is the format for the Brothers machine. You would select the format type for your machine. To the right, I am going to select the hoop style, and I am going to select the multi-position hoop. And then for the hoop, I am going to select jumbo hoop. Under the hoop sizes, you will see that the hoop that I selected is, the jumbo hoop that I selected is 12 by 5 inches. Because I'm creating a design for a sweatshirt, I want the hoop to be in landscape. So I am going to select the rotate 90 over here on the opposite side. Under delete, I'm going to select the rotate 90. If your design is not landscape, then you would not need to select this option here. And once I'm finished, I'm going to select apply and OK. For this project, I am going to create a mama applique design. To begin, I'm going to type my text. To type my text, I am going to go to the toolbar and I am going to select Create Design. I have Embrilliance Stitchartist Level 2, so the Create Design icon is the fourth icon from the right. On the tool pane, I am going to select Add True Type Text. This is the second icon from the left with the double T's. When the True Type Text window opens, I am going to select my font. So I am going to select the drop-down menu where the font is, and I am going to select a font called Varsity Team. So I'm just scrolling down to find this font, Varsity Team. This is a font that I installed on my computer from thefont.com. So now I have my font selected. I am going to type Mama in the text box. I'm going to type M-A-M-A in all capital letters, and then I'm going to select OK. Next, I want to size the design to 11 inches in width and 4 inches in height. To size the design, I am going to go to the right on the object view, and I'm going to make sure that the entire design is selected. So I'm just going to select this Mama, the whole word. I'm going to make sure that that is selected. And then I'm going to go to the toolbar and I am going to select objects icon. This is the sixth icon from the right. To the left on the tool pane, I want to make sure that my measurements are in inches. I also want to make sure that my scale proportionally is unlocked. Then I'm going to change my width to 11 and hit enter. And I'm going to change my height to 4.5 and hit enter. With the design size, I am going to center it to the hoop. So to center the design in the hoop, I'm going to make sure that my design, the whole design is selected. And I'm doing that on the objects view to the right. And then on the top menu, I'm going to select utilities and then center in hoop. Now I am going to create my applique stitch. To create my applique stitch, I am going to select create design on the toolbar. On the tool pane under stitches, I am going to select applique. So on the stitches, there are 2 rows. So where the stitches are, there are 2 rows of stitch types. I am going to select the applique icon, which is on the top row, and it is the 4th icon. On the right in the property view window, that's the window on the right to the bottom, you can see the applique steps. So we have applique position, and then we have the applique stitch. Right now, there are only 2 steps. That is, again, the position step and the border step. I want 3 steps for my applique design. I want a placement stitch to show where the fabric is going to go. I want a tack down or a material stitch to tack down the applique fabric that I'm going to be using. And I want a border stitch to finish off my design. To get these 3 steps, I need to set up my applique design settings by selecting the applique tab on the property view. So with the entire design selected, and you can see in the object view that the entire design is selected, I am going to go to the properties tab and I am going to select applique. This is the tab where I can set up my applique steps. So currently my design has a placement stitch, and I want a placement stitch and a tack down or material stitch. To add a tack down stitch, I am going to check material that's in the property view under position. Position is already checked. I am going to check the material, and that is going to add a tack down stitch. Then I'm going to select the drop down menu next to border, because currently it has a E stitch on it. So I'm going to select the drop down menu under the property view, and I am going to select satin, and that's going to add a satin stitch to my design. You can play around with the different stitches to see which one that you like. I'm going to keep my density at 5, and this will control how close my stitches are. And then I'm going to change my stitch width to 4 and hit enter. And this is going to control how wide my stitches are. Once I am finished setting up my applique design, I am going to select the color tab that's still in the property view. Here on the property view on the color tab, you can now see that I have a position stitch or placement stitch. I have a material stitch or a tack down stitch. And then I have a border stitch. As you can see, the position stitch and the material stitch are almost the same color. I am going to create a contrast so that you can see the steps better. So I'm going to change the color. To change the color, I'm going to change the color of the material step. So to change the color, I am going to select the material step. When a thread window is going to open, and on the thread window, I am going to select the brand of the thread view. I am going to select the brand of thread that I am using, and I am using Bro thread. You would select the brand that you're using. And then I am going to scroll to find a color. And I am going to select this yellow right here. And then after I've selected my thread, then I'm going to select OK. Now you can see the contrast between the three steps. The thread colors on your design are not the actual colors that you will use. The different colors simply tell the single needle embroidery machine to stop so you can change the thread. To change the remaining material stitches to the same color, I am going to select the next material stitch. And then on the view, I'm going to check palette. And this is going to show me the colors that are already selected in my design. And then I'm going to just select the yellow and then select OK. I will complete this process for the other two letters. Once I have changed all the material stitches to the same color, my applique design is complete. Now that the design is complete, let's take a look at the stitch simulator. To open the stitch simulator, I am going to select the stitch simulator on the toolbar, and it is the 7th icon from the right. So I'm just going to drag the simulator across the color boxes under the toolbar. So right now, my stitch out would stitch the placement stitch. It would stitch the tack down stitch, and then it would stitch the border stitch. And it will do this for each individual letter. This is not how I want it to stitch. I want all of the placement stitches to stitch at one time. I want all the material stitches to stitch at one time. And I want all of the border stitches to stitch at one time. To do this, I am going to color sort. To color sort, I am going to select Utility on the top menu. And then I'm going to select Color Sort. When the color sort window opens, it will indicate that the design page has been reduced by 9 color changes. I am going to select New View, and then a new design page is going to open with the changes on it. So let's take a look at the stitch simulator again. So now you can see that it'll stitch out the placement stitch first, then it'll stitch out the tack down stitch, and then it's going to stitch out the border stitch. With the design and the stitching set up, I am going to save the file. To save the file, I am going to go to File on the top menu, and I am going to select Save as Stitch and Working. I am going to name my file. My file type, my save as type is going to be PES. Your file type should be the file type for your embroidery machine. And then I'm going to select save. So here is the folder that is in File Explorer. So inside the folder, there are 4 files. You have a Mama Split Design bottom PES file. You have a Mama Split Design top. And then you have the Mama Split Design working file. And then you have the Mama Split Design text. You would save the 2 PES files to your flash drive. I am going to go ahead and get the sweatshirt hooped, and I am going to meet you at the embroidery machine. So here I have my sweatshirt already hooped on the repositional hoop. I have the brackets facing the bottom of the sweatshirt, and on this hoop there are 4 brackets, and on the 5x7 there are only 2, but for the repositional one there are 4 slots for you to hoop your hoop on. So with the repositional hoop, I am going to embroider the first half of the design, and then I'm going to embroider the other half of the design. And depending on which half of the design that you will start with will depend on how you position the hoop on the embroidery machine. So here at the embroidery machine, I am going to place the hoop on the machine in the 2 slots on the bottom half of the hoop, which is going to be slot number 3 and slot number 4. So I'm going to place it on the embroidery machine. Once the hoop is on the embroidery machine, I am just going to double check to make sure that there is no fabric under my hoop. So I'm just going to double check here, make sure nothing is under the hoop that shouldn't be under the hoop. Next, I am going to get the design pulled up. So my design is on a flash drive that I've already inserted into my machine. To locate the design, I am going to select the USB, and then I'm going to select my design so that it can import into the machine. And I'm going to select set. The design is upside down, so I'm going to rotate it by selecting rotate. And then I'm going to rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. I'm going to select OK. And then in edit. Then I'm going to select embroidery to begin embroidering. So when I hit embroidery, before I start, the machine is going to show me my stitch order. So with the repositional hoop, there's this outline box that is around the design. I don't need this outline box right here, and so I am just going to get rid of it. And to get rid of it, I'm going to hit the needle with the minus and the plus sign. I'm going to hit the spool with the plus sign, and it's just going to move it to my next set of stitches. And then I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, that box is gone. Next, I'm just going to lower my presser foot and then press the green button to begin embroidering. Once this half of the design is complete, then I'm going to hit OK and remove it from the hoop so that I can make the adjustment and reposition the hoop on the embroidery machine. Now that the first half of the design is complete, I am going to unhoop the machine. Unhoop the hoop and move it to slot number 1 and slot number 2. And this is going to stitch the top half. So it already stitched the bottom half. Now it's going to stitch the top half by moving the repositional hoop to slot 1 and slot 2. Which is, if I was holding it this way, it would be to my left. So now I'm going to select the top of the design. To select the top of the design, I'm going to select the design center here, which is the icon with the hoop and the flower. So I'm going to select that. And then it says OK to cancel current pattern selection. You say OK. And then I'm going to select the USB port again. And I'm going to select my second design. I'm going to hit set. The design is on upside down, so I'm going to select rotate. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit in edit, and then I'm going to hit embroider. I want to remove this outline box, so I'm going to hit the needle with the plus and the minus. I'm going to hit the spool with the plus, and then I'm going to select OK. And then the extra stitches are gone. Okay, so the sweatshirt is all done. So now I'm just going to cut away the excess stabilizer. Let me do it this way so I don't cut the sweatshirt. So I'm going to cut away the excess stabilizer. After I cut away the excess stabilizer, then I am going to use my easy press to press the glitter down on the shirt. I'm going to be pressing it at 305 for 30 seconds. Okay, y'all, so here is the embroidery sweatshirt. It is so cute and adorable. I love it. Oh my God, look at it. All right, y'all, so tell me what y'all think about the sweatshirt. All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you could be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.